Let's do this. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to an all-new episode of Wrestling's Road Trip After Hours. I'm your host, Mac Davis, and with me each and every week is none other than WWE Hall of Famer Teddy Long. How you doing, Teddy?
I'm good, player.
Look here, you may notice that we have a third set of people on the screen right now, and that's because, Teddy, you met somebody recently that really kind of impressed you, and this is this young gentleman right here. His name is Houston Genius. Teddy, you want to tell me how you met this kid here?
Well, I had the opportunity to speak with his father first, and after me and his dad talked, and we got a big show that's coming up next week in Michigan. We're going to talk about that. And so then he introduced me, to his son, and he was telling me about him. He says, "Yeah," he says, "my son has his own podcast," and I'm thinking he's 19, 20 years old or something. And he says, "No, he's only 10." And so that impressed me, a 10-year-old kid that has his own podcast. And the thing that impressed me about it is because, with what we got going on in our world today, every day I turn on this TV is some teenager or some kid got a gun, done killed his neighbor. You know what I mean? Kids are just killing each other for no reason at all. So there has to be another way. And what Houston has done, Houston has showed me, and I want him to explain that to a lot of kids today, that there is another way, because he's doing it. He ain't out there shooting up, killing nobody. He's doing something positive and something that could lead him into a career for the rest of his life. So that's why I wanted to have him on, and let him give you his story and how he got started, and what mostly inspired him, I'm pretty sure, was his father, because he's got a great dad. So Houston, welcome to the show, player. And if you could just talk to us a little bit and tell us how the podcast, how you got started, what made you get into that, and why you wanted to do it.
So, what made us get into the podcast and wrestling and what happened was, so basically, so me and my partner here, we was on FaceTime a long time ago, and he was sick. So then on FaceTime he said that we are going to make a big goal, and then like a few years later, then all this cool stuff is happening. All these people are coming to meet people at wrestling shows, to meet us, to meet everybody around the world.
Houston, I would imagine, because I've seen the videos and you can find these on YouTube, and that's going to be at Houston Genius. Is that correct? Let me introduce his father first. Yeah, do we call you Ms.? What do we call you?
Mission, yes. So Mission with two
Okay.
Z's. Yeah, you can find it on YouTube at our YouTube Forever Exposure Studios. That's where we got most of them. We got one that was really major for him, was with the Boogeyman.
Yes.
That was a major video, major opportunity. I'm gonna really give credit to Teddy though, because Teddy said go introduce him to the Boogeyman.
Yes.
At one of the WrestleCons we met up at. And I tell you, when they had that interaction, everybody, all his friends, family, and everybody who support us shared that video. I think it's about 40K right now.
Wow.
And it really changed how Houston was going to interview from that point on. That moment was the moment that changed Houston's life.
Boogie is Teddy and I. We love Boogie. He's such a good guy. So it's not hard for me to see that he would do something like that. Houston, let me ask you. There's a lot of wrestling stars out there. Is there somebody in particular that you would like to interview that you haven't yet?
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you one. So I'm gonna tell you one of them and the least one.
Okay.
Okay, so
That's great.
the first one is Jey Uso, the Yeet Master, and
that's the one that you would like to interview, right?
Yeah, and the one I would not like to is Dirty Dom.
That's a good choice. Yeah. Go ahead.
I tell you this. He says he wants to be a professional wrestler when he gets older. So we're gonna get him into a wrestling school, definitely. But he says if he does have a program in the WWE, that's his first opponent. Dirty
Oh.
Dom. So that's why he doesn't want to interview him. He wants to take him down, take that IC title from him.
Hey, the challenge is out there already. So, Dirty Dom, if you're listening, respond, and I'm sure he'd love to hear from you. Teddy, let me ask you. I know you're going to be with these guys coming up on a date very soon. Can you tell me more about the event?
Well, I can't tell you more about it because I'm not the promoter. You need to be talking to Mission. Mission is the guy that does everything, brings on the show. Why you asking me all this?
I even gave Teddy a cheat sheet by putting up something on the screen so he can cheat from that. But go ahead, Mission.
I can't cheat from that. I don't know him. Mission, go ahead and tell us about what's going to be happening next week.
This is the Motor City Championship Wrestling Expo. It is next Saturday and Sunday, August 16th and 17th. As you can see, we have Teddy Long there, but we also have Ron Simmons and the Godfather and the Brooklyn Brawler coming in and just representing that old classic, really good wrestling. That's my era, right? That's when I was watching wrestling as a kid. And now this is connected to the Michigan Independent Circuit. We're going to have some wrestling shows. Definitely talk to these legends like Teddy because they can tell some stories that none of these guys can. And Teddy shared some stories with us. Even when we interviewed him on our podcast, he told us exactly where the catchphrase that Ron Simmons is known for, where it came from and how it originated. So stories like that. And then, the same thing any WrestleCon Expo has. You'll be able to interact with these guys, get autographs.
Also, there's going to be a very special correspondent for that event. And of course, that's Houston Genius. Congratulations. That is so cool. Again, that's August 16th and 17th, the All-Star Sports Arena. And that's at 51400 County Line in New Baltimore, Michigan. And if you need more information, where do they go to get that information?
They can go, it's Facebook, Instagram, and then it's on Eventbrite for tickets to be purchased. And, we're never going to slide away from, if you walk up, buy your pass for the weekend. Come back both days. I'm sure lines are going to be long, so if you don't get to one legend, get to them the second day. But the thing is, we really wanted to bring Teddy because Teddy, honestly, wrestling would not be wrestling without Teddy Long, okay?
Totally agree.
I mean, if you liked him as a ref, you liked him as a manager, or you liked him as what I think was the greatest part of his career as the GM, then there is no WWE without a Teddy Long.
Absolutely not.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Houston, we enjoyed having you on the show. Again, so your favorite one is Jey Uso. That's who you'd like to interview. Okay, let's just throw it out there. You never know. You never know who may be watching this show, so you just never know. And I'm sure Jey Uso knows how to get in touch with Teddy if that's the case. So,
oh yeah, I've known Jey Uso ever since he's a little bitty baby.
We had the chance to meet his father at one of the WrestleCons, or a couple of the WrestleCons. But every time that we are, because we went to Royal Rumble this year, we went to WrestleMania this year in Las Vegas. And every time he sees Jey Uso, he's like, I got it. I just want to yeet with him at least once. And him being the world champion earlier in this year was the biggest thing for this guy.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, guys, we hope you have a great event. I know Teddy will come back and tell me all about it if he doesn't call me while he's there, because he tends to do that too. So, I look forward to having a successful event with you guys, and wish you the best of luck, my friends.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having us.
You betcha.
All right, see you guys next Thursday night, players.
All right, and for tonight, for the rest of the night, don't forget, we do have to get into the mailbag here. You can be a part of the show simply by sending your questions in. It's not going to cost you anything. That's the great thing about this show. We're not going to charge you money to ask a question. You can ask
wish we could.
It'd be nice, but we started the show not doing that because we wanted to give you, your fans, really a chance to participate in a program that otherwise a lot of stuff, and me included, I'm on other shows where you got to pay to ask the questions, but here it's absolutely free. So all you got to do is leave us a chat question down below, and we'll throw it up on the screen. In the meantime, here's the favorite part of the show that Teddy absolutely loves.
This is
letters, oh we get letters, we get your letters every day. Mailman, mailman, mail today. Reach right in and pull one out. Those letters, I love those letters. Let's find out what you got to say.
Oh boy!
Mailman,
And look here,
That is just horrible. That music is the worst music I've ever heard in my entire life.
I'm actually actively looking for something different to do the show with, but it's in particular, and I got to find it first. So once I
No,
do find it,
that's bedded into us. We can't change it.
pretty classy lady already in here saying the show is just in time for her to listen while she does her workout. And we're glad you're in here, pretty classy lady. She's always one of those that we can count on each and every Thursday night. And
That's what Denise is doing. My lady, she's getting her workout on while she's watching the show too.
Yeah, I love Denise. Hey, Denise, and oh, Denise, should be. Yeah. Zach Minger, hello, Mac and Teddy. How are you doing? I'm doing great, Zach. Good to have you in the room again tonight.
We're doing good, player.
Let's see, Michael. Hey, Teddy and Mac. Hey, player.
All right, Michael, how you doing?
And John Blaine. Hey, Mac and Teddy. Congratulations to Teddy for going into the ICW Hall of Fame.
All right, thank you very much. Immortal Championship Wrestling. That's what the ICW. I was there this past Tuesday night in God, I can't pronounce this town, but it was where they had the fairgrounds and had a great man. What a great show Immortal Championship Wrestling put on that night, but put me in the Hall of Fame and a couple of their stars also too. So thank you again to them, and thank all the people for all their support that they're giving to Immortal Championship Wrestling. Those guys are really doing a good job.
Yeah, Mike Falvo, who was an announcer for that program, he sent me a message that day and said, Teddy's here. He was all excited because you were there. And I know Mike, and I know several of the people with that particular organization, and everything I hear about him is always good. And that's not always the case in independent wrestling, but everything I've always heard about them has been good. Let's see, pretty classy lady saying, nice to meet you, Ms. Jean and Houston, and I'll be checking out the podcast. Yeah, please
Thank
do.
you.
Yeah. And let's see, what else we got? We got a bunch of folks popping in here. Dave Crone in here. You guys coming back to St. Louis in the summer. And what happened to the Monkeys?
I don't know. I saw them, I think, about 4 or 5 years ago. Well, I didn't see both of them. I seen one of them, I believe. Randy Monk, I believe that's who I saw, and talked to him a little bit, and that was about it. I hadn't heard anything from him. I don't know what happened with them.
Yeah, I really don't know. I never hear anything about them whatsoever. By the way, if you want to be a part of the conversation here, just send us a question in chat. We'll throw it up on the screen. The best question of the night, Teddy will pick, and of course, the winner will get a free Road Trip After Hours T-shirt. So put your questions in. Let's see what we have. We got Michael asking, "Hey Teddy, what are your memories of Birmingham, Alabama?"
Oh, wow, man. I was born and raised there. Went to Parker High School, Lincoln Elementary School. A lot of good memories there. I never will forget, we used to always go to the sports entertainment there at Legion Field. That's where they played all the football games and all that stuff. So I remember Legion Field. I had a great time in Birmingham. And I was, doing the civil rights stuff. I was right there at the end. I was one block from the 16th Street Baptist Church when they bombed that church. I was like a block away. I heard the explosion and everything.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Teddy, you have some, your family, your dad, you told me a story one time. Did you go back to find your dad? Was he in Birmingham, Alabama? Is that where he was?
Yeah.
Do you mind telling that story? That, honestly, that's one of the stories you've told me that I thought was one of the most moving stories you've told me when it came to your father and trying to show the success that you got. Can you tell that story?
I went back to this community there. Well, my father was an alcoholic. He drank, him and my mother both. So my father would always go to this place where they sold this corn liquor. That back then it was called moonshine. They do have moonshine now as today, but you could buy a mayonnaise jar for 50 cents or $1 or something, and
I might have some in my house.
Yeah. So when I went to Birmingham, I went there. I was refereeing. I just started working, so I went there to do a show. But I said, well, let me go try to find my dad and just speak to him and let him know what I'm doing. So I went right to the spot, man. I remembered it all them years, where he used to hang out at and where he'd sit there all day and just drink. So I was lucky, man, that day. I walked right up on him. So I didn't tell him who I was. I didn't tell him nothing, but I called him by his name and I said, Theodore, how you doing? And he looked up and he spoke to me, and I said, we was talking the other day, and I said, some of the guys said you had a son. You got a son? And he said, yeah. I said, well, when the last time you seen him? and he said, "Well, he couldn't talk to me much." And I was about to come to tears messing with him, but then I looked at him. I said, "Well," I said, "if I said I know your son. I said if you want me to give him a message or something, what would you say to him? What would you want me to tell him?" And he started trying to tell me, and he just broke out in tears, man. And so then I stopped him, and I said to him, I said, "I'm your son. You're talking to me." And it was,
That had to be so difficult, and but I know that it also gave you some kind of oh, what am I looking for? The word a conclusion,
closure.
a closure. Yes, because you were able to go back despite all the odds that he and your mother, put in front of you as you got into life. Man, to be able to go back and say, "Look at me," and I love you, but look at me. I still made it, even though you
Yeah.
didn't allow
And
me
he
to
didn't,
do it.
but he didn't understand none of that at all. He
No,
didn't know what it meant
but
that
but
I
that didn't
made.
matter at that point, because I would imagine for you that was for you. That
Yeah.
moment was for
I
you.
went to look for him just for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
All right,
and that was the last time I saw him.
yeah, that was always been one of my favorite stories you ever told me in the car.
Yeah.
Let's see, Zach Minger, easy for me to say. Happy National Raspberries and Cream Day, Mac and Teddy.
But
Boy,
what
that
does
sounds
that
good.
mean?
It sounds like ice cream with raspberries, and man, that sounds good to me.
Well, I hope
Uh,
so.
let's see,
Sounds like gummies to me.
Dave saying, I was a kid watching Teddy as a referee, skinny and braids.
No, I never did have no braids,
I was
players.
about to ask you that. Yeah,
No, it was a Jerry curl. That's what he's trying to say. That's what I had. Didn't have
yeah.
no
I remember the
braids.
Jerry curl.
Yeah.
It was funny.
Braids wasn't even out then.
Yeah, they may not have been. I remember the Jerry curl back in the day because I worked in radio, and in the station I worked for, there was a multi-station station. So there was one station from in this building, a middle room that was the newsroom, and then the studio of the other station. And the other station was an urban black FM that was playing. And I'm, here I am, I'm on, the white guy's side. But occasionally we would cross our headphones. Like if we forgot somebody's headphones, we would put them on. Jerry curl was the absolute worst thing for a pair of Cost headphones. Whatever was in Jerry curl would deflate anything that it touched, and it would just sink in the headphones, and these felt like rocks on your ears at that point.
Yeah, and then you could never get rid of it.
No. It was
That grease or whatever that was, you could never get rid of it.
no, yeah, you could always tell after school too. Like, you take the bus home. I was a bus rider, and man, the windows would have the Jerry curl on them because people's heads would rest against the window, and it would it made a mess. Let's see. Benjamin on Facebook writes, "What is a Legends deal, and are you currently signed to one?"
Well, I don't know whether I'm at live to tell you what the legend deal is, so I'll leave that alone. But I do have one.
Yeah, I think Legends deals, from what I understand, are basically it's you
Well, there's
sign
different
on.
ones, Mac. That's why I don't want to
Oh,
discuss it because different wrestlers have different deals. So
I
they're
got you.
different ones. So you can't speak about it because you don't know what kind they got.
True. That would make sense, actually. Let's see. Dave saying, how bad were the jobbers that skyscrapers put in a hurting on, or did they go to the hospital? What was said in the back? I remember there was the skyscraper. Was it the skyscrapers? I thought it was
Yeah, it was
Ron.
in the Fort Worth, Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. We was wrestling in a cow barn or something like that, as I can remember. And there was a couple of guys there, two enhancement guys, and they come in. Well, one of them, I don't know. I think he had been drinking or something. I'm not sure. But anyway, he come in running that mouth, talking like he was the baddest person in the world and all this crazy mess. So they went and smartened up Danny and Sid about him, before we went out there. So then when we got in the ring, he really acted up. Then he wouldn't sell nothing. So golly, boy, that done it.
Yeah.
They they crucified him.
Didn't somebody? I'm trying to remember who it was. Public Enemy. Didn't they get beat up by somebody at one point for not selling in the ring?
ABA.
Yeah, okay. I knew there was another story out there about something like that, and that's the one I remember the most.
Yeah.
APA and Public Enemy. If you haven't ever seen that, go pull that up. There's some stiff shots in that match. All right, let's see here. Steve Moore is saying, do y'all think Karrion Kross would get a good pop against Trick Williams in TNA? I'm going to be
Well,
honest. Karrion Kross and Trick Williams, I don't know enough about either one of them. I haven't seen enough of the work to be able to say. But Teddy, what about you?
well, I've seen Karrion Kross. Not bad. Not a bad worker at all. You know, and Trick Williams, I kind of like him. He's entertaining. So I don't know. I think Trick would probably get the biggest pop.
All right, let's see. Next question. Scott Lance. Hey, Scott, good to have you in here. Thoughts on working with Eric Bischoff and how was your match with him at Survivor Series? Also, thoughts on Jim Cornette back in the NWA starting the Peanut Head chant?
Well, the first one there with working with Eric was absolutely great. I had a chance to meet Eric before we even got involved in the, deep in the wrestling business. So I had a chance to work with him at TBS when he first started. And then all of a sudden, after a while, Eric became, the guy in charge. So he remembered me, from helping him and staying with him. So working with Eric was great. I had a great time.
Now,
Uh,
your match with him,
Well, it didn't go too long. We just started, and then Boogeyman came in and interfered, and then Boogie put the worms and stuff on it. But that was fun too. I think that was something that Vince put together and that he just liked, and that was for his own entertainment.
yeah, that's not one of Teddy's best.
Oh God, no, that was horrible.
Yeah, that
That
match sucked.
it was horrible, brother. Jesus Christ.
Now, what about Jim Cornette with the Peanut Head chant back in the day?
Well, the way that started is we were trying to find something to call me to get some heat. And I told Jim Cornette, I said, well, Jimmy, when I was a little bitty boy, I said, my nickname was Peanut. I said, that's what he used to call me when I was a kid. And I said, so we can use that. And that went right off with Jimmy. He said, yeah, Peanut Head. And so that's how the Peanut Head started.
Let's see, Michael. Hey, Mac, what is your connection to wrestling? I bought my way in. No, I not really at all. It's kind of complicated. I would just say that I have wrestled. I wrestled for quite some time in independent wrestling in Georgia. I do a lot of things behind the scenes as well and do a lot of shows. Know Teddy and a lot of other people who have helped me along the way to get where I am. And Teddy is one of those guys that I think Teddy's even said it. He saw something. We got along great and like, what the hell? Let's give this a shot. And we've had a blast doing it. And that's basically it. But anybody that says, hey, I don't know what I'm talking about, I promise you, I have been in the ring. I felt some of the bumps that you may talk about or anything else. I promise. I know some of the stuff. Scott Lance, and Scott knows this for a fact because Scott was one of the guys I worked with. He said, I love the boxing match, Sugar Ray Long versus Paul Ellering. Did you get extra money to have your head shaved?
No, didn't get no extra money. Almost got fired. If you want to know what happened about that, Ole, God rest his soul, he was doing the booking at that time. So the thing was to shave my head. Paul Ellering and myself, we're both bald headed. We both don't have no hair. So what is the deal shaving my head? So I just, and then I'm having problems too. So I just kind of got tired that night. And Jody Hamilton, God rest his soul, he was the guy that talked to me and the reason I stayed that night that I didn't leave. Jody Hamilton, he was the guy that would talk to me and kind of explain to me. And I kept trying to tell him, why you shave my head? Paul, neither one of us got any hair, so I don't understand it.
And Nick Patrick, last week, we were saying that, what was the name, Teddy, that we were trying to figure out?
Lico Beak.
Okay. Nick, we haven't heard from you. You're going to have to get, I know you watch because you send me messages, but you didn't answer that. I want to know what that's all about. And if you don't, I'm going to hunt you down. No, I'm just teasing. Let's see. Pretty classy lady saying, who were some of the best jokesters backstage in your time?
Owen Hart, God rest his soul. He was a real pranker. Yeah.
He did it with just about everybody. And sometimes, did his pranks sometimes get a little mean?
Well, yeah, they did. But I mean, that was part of the wrestling business. Back then, you'd have the killer bees, not the killer bees, The British Bulldogs is oh golly, did David Boy and them put boy, they mess with everybody. They mess around one time, you know, they had the dog, the Matilda.
Yeah.
Well, some of the guys in the back, they halcyon the dog. They gave Matilda halcyon. So when
Oh,
they got ready, when they when the Bulldogs got British Bulldog got ready to go out to the ring, there's no Matilda. They don't got the dog, so they don't know where the dog is. So they're out there wrestling. I mean, you know, the matches are going on, and so by the time they got out there, I think they were maybe semi-main. So they got out there, they got no dog, and all of it, you know, they're wrestling and everything, and all of a sudden Matilda kicks out. And she comes out from under the ring, and there's Matilda right there. She's staggering around, you know, trying to shake the halcyons off. But
oh God. Man,
yeah.
this is mean folks, man. Let's see here. Curly Man saying, my apologies, Teddy, but I like that intro. He's talking about the mailbag. Let's
Of
see.
course you do. That fits you.
And let's see. Michael saying, Teddy, what are your memories of working with Eddie Guerrero?
Nothing but great memories working with Eddie Guerrero. What a nice guy, man. Always nice, great attitude and everything. And he was another guy, you know, that I could talk to, you know, like, you know, maybe tell him, Eddie, I got something you did out there. Maybe you should, you know, and he would listen. Because I wouldn't go to nobody and say nothing to him unless I knew what I was talking about. Because that's embarrassing to go to somebody and talking about telling them something and you don't know what you're talking about. So that'd be stupid. So I didn't never do that unless I knew what I was talking about because I paid attention, you know. But a lot of guys I didn't talk to, and a lot of guys I did because I didn't want them to know I knew. But Eddie was a guy, him, Chris Benoit, God rest his soul. He was another guy that I could critique or sell him. I never will forget one night with Eddie, oh, the Frog Splash. And I mean, we were somewhere overseas, I might have been. And Eddie, to me, I thought he took a little too long. He went to go up, you know, and you know, and work the people a little bit. Boom, hit it. But that night he stalled just a little. It was just a little too long to me.
Yeah.
Okay. And I told Eddie about it. I said, nothing special, you know. He said, no. He said, what do you think, Ted? I said, nothing real special. I said, I thought on the Frog Splash, you were just a little bit too long. You waited. You should have just went up, hit, you know what I mean? And he looked at me and he said, you know what, you're right. He said, I felt it. When I went up, you know, I said, that's all I saw.
Yeah, that's cool. All right,
Yeah.
you got to pick somebody here, Teddy. Of all the questions we've had, have you got somebody in particular or a question in mind?
Well, one of the questions about the refereeing or something there. What was that question?
Let me get to it. Talk about your upcoming event again, Teddy, while I find him.
Well, I don't know what to talk about it because I don't know where it is. Can you put the flyer back up? How about that?
Yeah. Let me. I'll show you the flyer for those who are wondering. Teddy's gonna let me switch a page here.
It's in Belgium, Michigan. Okay.
It's in Belgium, Michigan. Is that what you said?
Belfast or Belgium or something. What's it say at the bottom down there?
I don't know. Let's see.
Well, I'm begging you to read it.
I got to go to full screen to be able to read it here. It's
Okay.
in New Baltimore, Michigan.
New Baltimore, Michigan. Okay.
And what did you
there
say
go.
first?
I don't know.
It was nothing like New Baltimore. Teddy never knows where he's going. That's the funny part. Hang on, wait, I just lost you here. Okay, let me get down here. All right, we're trying to find out who asked you about the referee. Look, they're going to know it before we even get to it. It's not from the questions that came in. Teddy, what happened to your camera here? I'm getting dizzy.
Well, I was. Oh, God. What did I do?
If it's live, it's meant to happen. Isn't that what you
It's
tell
meant
me?
to be. That's what the man told me. That's what the man said. But live is meant to be. Now I'm gonna have to. Let's see. How do I get back into you? I have no idea.
Well, you should be able to just turn the camera back on. Right now, your camera's turned off.
Okay, camera. I got it back on now. Let's see.
Yeah.
Well, I don't see nobody but me.
Maybe you got the camera turned the wrong way. Oh God, now he's gone from here. Oh my God. Well, look here. I'll go through. I'll figure out. And Teddy's coming back in here. Hold on. Let's see.
I'm back
There
in
you
now, right?
are. There you are.
Okay. I was trying to show you Rufus. Oh God, I'm gonna mess up again. So let's see.
Rufus.
Can
Where
you
are you,
see?
Rufus?
Can you see him there?
I see a window shade. Oh, wait, I see the top of his head. I think we just lost you too there. Nope, you're still there. Hey, buddy, what you doing, Mr. Rue? Give me that side eye, like, what the hell you doing bothering me?
He's
Rue,
watching me.
Okay, the one that I think you were talking about, Teddy, was Dave when he asked you about watching you as a referee, skinny and braids. Is that what you're talking about? And of course, Teddy's not here again. He'll come back in again in a minute, I guess. There he goes. Let's see. All right, the one I see in here about referee is I was a kid watching Teddy as a referee, skinny and braids. Is that the one?
Yeah, let's give him a t-shirt.
All right, Dave Crone, that is you, my friend. And Dave, if you'll just contact me, say you're on Facebook. So yeah, you'll find me right there. Just send me a message on Facebook and we'll get you set up. All I need is your address and size and we'll get it out the door for you. All right, Teddy, that's it. We're out of time. Now that you've been carrying your camera and tearing up everything, making everybody dizzy. I'm going to try to eat something now. Take some Malox, man.
Well, you should.
I know. Well, how to get this? Hold on. I got to get this thing down so at least I can see your face before we get out of here. Okay, I'll get rid of that. There we go. All right, guys, we're out of here. Same time, same place next week, 7:00 Eastern Standard Time. You'll find us on Facebook and YouTube. And please do us a favor, share this around and also subscribe. Subscribing to the channel. I'm not kidding when I say this. We're getting like 200-300 a month for Teddy and I. That's
and thank
great.
You.
Yes,
thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I can't tell you how much that means to us because we put a lot of time in this and we're hoping it would pay off. And we feel like we've really got the traction that we've been looking for. And it's because you're sharing this and you're subscribing. All right,
exactly.
We'll see you again next week. I'm Mac Davis, and that is WWE Hall of Famer Teddy Long and